everybody.
Hello.
Hey, it's time for Minute to Skim It, your weekly show here on The Experience that allows you to know what's going on in the comic books before you go to your local comic shop. Hopefully on Wednesday, if you aren't in Texas and need to build an ark instead. Oh. Whoa!
No.
Let them be like, did you see that was a biblical reference and then it lit up? That's pretty good. I'm never going to be able to make that happen again. Sorry, there's a light above us that sometimes part of the bulbs don't come on until it heats up a little bit more. So, all right, here we go. We're going to read some cool books for you guys. Get your notebooks out and your pens.
Huh? We've already read them. We're
yeah,
just
you know
them.
what I mean. You want to interact with these people online, go find the creators and give them a shout out. You know, they spend long amounts of time creating these books, but it's crazy because they finished these books like, I don't know, some of them up to a year ago. It takes that long for them to actually make it to be printed and come out. Probably it's more like 4 months or whatever, but still they've kind of like moved on to the next project or on like issue number 29 or whatever the thing, but they still like to know that you guys like it. Gives them extra fire to want to do some more. So I see Milton's on. Milton and Terry. Hello.
Howdy.
That's Jenna behind the scenes. All right, so I read, because I just can't hardly wait for the actual like show to come out again. The Witcher, Witch's Lament, which is kind of a cool look at what if the Witcher wasn't 100% certain about like a witch that he had produced for a town that had hired him, right? And they burned him at the stake. Does he have any mental anguish about it, or is he always certain about what he does? And there's a bunch of naked and hoo-ha in it, just like usual.
What was that word?
Hoo-ha! Hey, Brian. Brian loves your hair.
Oh, thank you. Jenna did it.
The Hatch approves.
Jenna knows how to do hair.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
She's got skills.
Helm Grey Castle, number 2. So first issue, we meet Helm Grey Castle, which is him and his crew. Pretty much your average D&D party. There's a bard. Helm's the barbarian. There's a few magic users. We haven't completely seen exactly what all of their classes are yet. Not completely. I think let's see. I think our dwarf friend here is a fighter, but I could be wrong on that. He could be a cleric. But they are in, oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher the name. It's Mexia? It's basically like the Aztec world.
Oh, okay.
And they are dealing with a quest that you don't want to say, just because there is an adventure at the back of each issue, so you can play it after you read it, or before. Probably before is probably better, but oh gosh, what else can I say? You get to see a lot more of the Aztec characters in this issue that you were kind of introduced to at the end of the last issue. A lot of this is more setup for what's to come.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A reminder, this is just a review show, so we're not selling anything for this show. Although if you're local to us, if we're your LCS, send us messages. But otherwise, send messages to your LCS and let them know. Just be like, send them message after message. Hey, do you have a added to my pull box?
Mhm.
If you don't have one, you can certainly use a local comic shop locator.com and find one close to you. But otherwise, yeah. I see Elvis is on watching us. And hi, Aunt Charlotte. All right, here we go. This is the Last Ronin number 3. I know what you're thinking. Has it been 6 months or a year since the last issue came out? Feels like it, right? Because last thing we had was last month we had, or maybe even longer than that.
I think it was the one before.
The number 1 director's cut came out. So it's been probably 2 months since we've had some Last Ronin.
Yeah.
That
one came out in March, so it was 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah. What I figured out about this series is it isn't linear. They are really honestly jumping back and forth between time. And you'll be able to figure that out way better in this one. This one makes it much more clear about that. There is a character that you're going to be familiar with in this book, which is kind of the linchpin that is kind of like the football that's in play that everybody wants. And it's probably not anyone that you can imagine. Last Ronin is low key. Mm-hmm. Yep. Agreed. But it's amazing. It's worthwhile. It's not the end. There's still more coming. So it leaves you at a really nice cliffhanger, of course. And of course, they made a high quality book like last time, high gloss. It's only slightly annoying that it's a golden age size book. But hey, they needed more room to put the good stuff on the page.
Go get.
Oh, I should go get? Yeah. All right, this was fun. Star Wars Adventures Weapon of a Jedi is a big old thick IDW Marvel crossover. And as far as I can tell, it takes place right smack dab in the middle of, say, I would say Star Wars and Empire, because that has a feel of him not quite having everything together yet, but being a very good pilot still. But he's intending to go one place, but then starts having feelings that he is being called by the Force to go to somewhere else. So he does eventually gets pulled away to this other place that he's been called to. So we'll find out what's going on, I'm assuming, in the next couple issues. I love it. Who said that? Ashton says, "Ooh, Last Ronin 3."
All right, Stargirl Spring Break special, part of the Infinite Frontier, which is their ongoing stuff right now. So as a little bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a. Basically, this is, if you've never read Stargirl or know anything about Stargirl, this is the book to pick up. This gets you exactly where you need to be. And all of the characters that you see on the cover here. Green Arrow, Red Arrow, Vigilante, and oh gosh, I can't remember the other characters' names. But I hadn't read anything Stargirl before, so it was a really good way to be exposed to this character and all the other characters without overwhelming me. And I think they did a really good job on that. This is almost like an issue number 0 for the Stargirl series that's going to be coming. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes from after this. There's a lot of stuff that she finds out in this issue about her partner's past, her superhero partner's past.
Very cool.
Yeah.
William, the answer to your question is no, because he did not finish his chores. And never heard of Stargirl. Well, now you're going to know. Stargirl is a character. There's a lot of characters, honestly, in the books that we read this week, which have not been, or maybe never have been, main characters that are worth knowing because they do have actually really good powers. And I'm talking about the stuff that I'm going to tell you about in Hero Reborn.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of characters that have not had have relevance in quite a while. So maybe what they're trying to tell us with those books is we should pay attention to them, is my guess. Since, as we know, just because you're a minor character in a Marvel universe doesn't mean you're not going to be an important character tomorrow in the Marvel universe. So.
True.
All right, so this book is an awesome book. This is called it's GNA, Graphic Novel Adventures. So I think they're skirting very closely to getting sued, but not being sued here. This is called, it says your choices, your adventure, your story. So if you say choose your own adventure, you will get sued by those people. I know they do. They have done it before. But this is called Hold Up. It's part of a new series of books. It says, only you can avoid this fiasco. Prove that you can be the greatest robber of all time. And it is a choose-your-own-adventure style book in which you are reading a graphic novel that has not every panel, but it does get to panels that make you make choices. In this case, you have two characters that start out the book. One is a guy who runs up to a convenience store to hold it up, and the other one is the convenience store worker. And they end up in kind of a relationship that is completely dependent upon your choices in the book. And I guess you're supposed to identify as the person who was running up to do the robbing. But basically, you end up choosing a life of crime or a life of crime. So just know there's no real good guys in this book. You're going to, I don't know. It's great, awesome, fun. Just pure escapism. Enjoy. It'll take you right back to your childhood if you were born in the 70s.
All right. So, Shadecraft number 3. First issue, we meet, oh gosh, I can't remember, I just had her name and I can't remember it. We had our main character, and her brother's in a coma, and shadows were attacking her. Second issue, she was getting bullied by this other girl in school and goes to the guidance counselor, the brand newly hired guidance counselor. Not at all suspicious, right? And if you haven't read number 2, spoiler, it wasn't a coincidence, or it wasn't just a coincidence. It was, she's going to train her how to figure out about these shadow creatures. Mm-hmm. And so in this issue, and in the last part of issue 2, we see that the shadows aren't coming from around her, they're coming from her.
Oh.
So in this issue, it picks up right after that. So, I mean, when you find out that the shadows are coming from you, and you're just a teenager, what is your reaction gonna be?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Terry, I think you might actually like that book. I think you're right. Hey,
yes.
Bob, how are you doing, man? Good seeing you. All right, this is the book I was really looking forward to, or one of the books I was really looking forward to reading today. This is The Blue Flame. It is a new book from Vault Comics. And Cantwell, who's the lead on that book, is, busy, out in Hollywood making paper girls right now. So maybe they might know what they're doing about writing. This one is Vault's first, I reckon, to be an actual superhero universe-based book. There is an actual superhero group that's part of it. The Blue Flame is the main character that's part of it. And there's a huge crisis at the very beginning of the book series here that puts the Blue Flame in kind of a real bad spot, like a big decision-making spot. So to me, we've just gotten just a basic taste about what's going on. It's interesting because it's clear from the way that they're presenting all the characters is there's relationships that have formed or are forming amongst people in the group. Some of them are more complex than others. And the Blue Flame and one of his co-workers or superheroes are just at the very beginning of a relationship that they're starting. They still haven't quite figured out what they are for each other, boyfriend or girlfriend or not. But it's clear they want to try to make a try, but he's not very, he has a lot of self-confidence in his base person, like who he is as on everyday basis, because he's a, heating repairman, which I love that they're finally picking just like a normal everyday job, because all of them seem so romantic, right? They usually have reporters and photographers and lab assistant, all those things.
How is a lab assistant romantic?
I don't know.
Lawyers is definitely not romantic. Take it to somebody who worked in a law firm for 2 years, who all she had to do was run up and down stairs and yell at people for not signing a piece of paper. It's not romantic. It's a lot of secretaries yelling. What's romantic?
This has been Jenna Theater.
Sorry. I heard the craziest thing. I had to give my 2 cents. Take it for free.
So anyway, I think I like it when they have the guts to have a superhero that just has what seems to be just a normal blue-collar job. Just a normal dude. Just happens to have superpowers. I love it.
I wish I had superpowers.
Makes me happy.
I can't even tell you.
See, this is what you don't know. Jenna does have superpowers. She just doesn't talk about them.
I wish I had them. Like, do you know how hard it is to go up and down those stairs in heels? It's hard.
It's proof. Powers. Mm-hmm. All right.
Go get it.
You want me? Oh, yeah. You go here.
Yeah.
I was so excited. Shadowman #2. Oh, this one's kind of cool because it starts out with a really cool switcheroo on you, which I'm not going to tell you about at all, except for to say that there's a fun. Just wait till you read it. You'll know it when you see it, because it's a cool switcheroo. When you think you're watching one thing, it's like those early days of Walking Dead when you really thought something was going to go down. Didn't happen then. The really scary thing happened later when it seemed real calm. Yeah, that's what this is like. So, if you want to jump into Shadowman, the only thing you need to know about this universe is that in the Valiant universe, there's the regular world, and then there's what's called the dead side, which is everything that comes from the other side. And they are definitely kept separate by Shadowman and his Loa. That is their whole entire job and purpose in the world, is to keep the stuff that's on the dead side over there, because they should not come over.
You stay over there, and I'll stay over here, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. And in this one,
we'll be okay.
And in this one, it looks like there might be another character that has having influence over the Shadowman that he is unaware of. So pay attention. This might be a first appearance of a new somebody. Hey, Tim! What's going on?
Speaking of, you stay over there and I'll stay over here. The Girls of Dimension 13. We kind of saw the first issue introducing these girls to this mirror door portal thing, but they didn't really, like, they know they have some sort of powers, but it didn't really answer any of the questions that they had. In this issue, they get answers, but it's not at all what they were expecting, and it just kind of, like, the action just kind of starts. The woman who invited them to her house in the first issue has, you find out in the first issue that she has some secrets without saying anything.
All women have secrets.
Well,
That's a bunch
right.
I know.
But like,
we're known for them.
they were told not to go into specific rooms, and of course, what are they going to do? Go in that room. And it's more than just, oh, you know, lots of money because of such and such. It's more mystical secrets. And so this issue kind of explains things, but you're not supposed to know everything yet because you're just finding out as they find out, which I love. I love not knowing and having all of the mystery that I have to, that you also have to try to figure out. And you meet this guy, who I'm not going to say anything about him, but...
We have a question. What happened to the girls of Dimension 12? That's a good question.
So, you find out about the dimensions in this issue because their dog friend here is the one who is having to answer their questions. So I can't really say much about that, but you find out why it's Dimension 13.
Yeah, they're going to give us some inside information.
Mm-hmm.
I love
I
it.
really want to watch Warehouse 13 now.
Oh, man.
13 is one of
So
my
you've never watched it?
I've watched all of it.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
twice.
Okay.
I
It's-
love it.
I always like it when I meet someone who's never watched it before, and I was like, well, you'll finally understand my comment every once in a while when I just randomly say I smell fudge. No one understands
I
that
get
statement unless you watch Warehouse 13. All right, Nuclear Family, number 4. They're still, it's so funny, they've captured the family and brought them down below where they've been hiding from radiation and continue to accuse them of being spies instead of like just accidentally being caught outside during the nuclear fallout. In which, you know, time passed inexplicably. They still haven't talked about how that happened, nor what's been going on really. But they're doing experiments on the people that they have underground.
You said that.
Yeah, they're doing experiments on these people without their permission. I don't know. They're trying to figure out some way that they can use the exposure to radiation for some means. It's not for people with weak tummies because there's a little bit of torture. There's some light torture.
Just light
Just some
torture.
light torture.
Just light. You'll be fine.
I really want to know where they're going with this. What are they trying to make? And I still want them to answer the question: what happened? Why did this family survive in their just household bunker? That doesn't make a bit of sense. And why does the dad, who got exposed to all of it, why is he still alive and wandering around? Anyway,
Because shenanigans.
because things.
Jenna out.
It's like between this one and Geiger, it's like the same kind of like, how do they possibly survive? All right, Cult of Dracula number 3 is also out this week. The thing you need to know about the Cult of Dracula universe is that instead of having a male Dracula figure, it is a female. And all the other characters that you were used to from Bram Stoker's Dracula, they exist in this writing of the universe, but they are not taking on traditional roles. So that's a little bit mixy. The brides still are very prominent, but of course that's a little bit different, right? And then the other main characters are like Renfeld, which that's not so much in play anymore, as you might imagine. Things have happened. But imagine that it is actually acting like a cult instead of the way it's been portrayed before. Is like he's kind of a loner and just like hunts in the shadows and those kinds of things. This is like almost like an organized group. So yeah, this has been a really awesome ride. I cannot wait to see what happens next. Are you selling now? I'm not selling now. This is Minute to Skim It, which is just a fun review show. But later, yes.
All right. Goblin. Original graphic novel by Eric Grissom and Will Perkins. So in D&D, usually you don't see the other side of the goblins that you're killing. This is pretty much one young goblin's quest to get revenge for his parents. And it's adorable. Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. Richt. That's his name. R-I-K-T.
Richt,
Yeah.
not wrecked.
Yeah. He has to pretty much figure out, how to, because he is very, very young when his parents are killed, and he has to figure out how to survive on his own at such a young age. It's very heartwarming, and oh gosh, there's how many chapters?
I can already tell you now, it's not enough.
11 chapters and an epilogue, and it rips your heart out, stomps on it, then puts it back. So
I'm so ready.
By the way, Antonio's asking questions. Just be aware that if you've ever hung out with us, we have sent you a schedule in your direct messages. So if you go like this in your direct messages, you'll be able to find it. All the information for where we're going to be and when, all Central Time. All right. But you can do it just like that. You have to do it like a cat who just found something cool on the screen. All right. This is Something is Killing the Children, number 16, in which you get to find out Erica Slaughter's origin as a hunter. So don't miss this one. They said it was going to be a huge one. It is a huge one. You will definitely want this one, and probably number 17. If you do not already have Something is Killing the Children on your local pull box, what is wrong with you?
Are you crazy?
They've already announced this book as being in development. You got to know what's going on about this. I mean, it's super lighthearted and fun. It's about creatures that only kids can see that will murder them and parents that can't see them. Super fun.
Super
lighthearted, eh? For the whole family now, yeah?
Just, a little slice of life.
Just a little slaughter.
Sarcasm.
A little torture in the other book, a little slaughter in this book.
Yeah, if you like stabby creatures and super sexy blondes that kill them, go. Oh, but you bought a weapon. Oh, that was a flash. I bought a heavy metal from Heavy Metal. But what? No bag, no board. Tim, why are you complaining about publishers on my show? We don't complain about publishers. We love publishers. By the way, I have all those cool variants. Excited about those. They're beautiful. All right. It's a publisher and not a shipper. I'm going to be forgiving of those guys. They don't necessarily know what they're doing. But they do know how to make books. You can solve all these problems by ordering from your local comic shop where you can pick it up with your hands and not have it shipped at all. Baby Yoda Cerebus. I mean, I'm not even going to tell you anything about it. It's Baby Yoda Cerebus. I mean, who cares, right? It's just, I honestly opened the book to read it and I was like, it doesn't matter. It's Baby Yoda Cerebus.
It's down.
It's so cute. And it's funny. It says all new panels at the top, which makes me laugh. And then there's these Victorian looking people saying, goo, 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 goo. It's just so cute. And it's so stinking cute. All right, anyway. No, I did not read the book because, all right, full disclosure, I 100% hate books that make you turn them sideways to read them.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the biggest foul in my book. Foul.
Jen doesn't like it. I'm okay.
Time out.
As long as it's the whole way through, not just
oh yeah, if it's a forever, the whole thing is like this, but if I have to keep switching,
yeah,
I'm just done.
All right, Jen, I think you read this one too, yeah?
What, this one? I didn't get to. I got to interview the awesome creator.
Yes, Jeremy
Holt.
Yes.
They are the coolest.
Yes.
We're going to say the exact same thing. We're going to have to owe each other Cokes now. All right, fine.
It's okay. It's okay. We both don't drink Coke, so it's all good.
So I intend to steal this book. Well, there probably aren't going to be left tonight. Who am I fooling? I need to order some more of these.
Yeah, you do. Gosh.
It is an Image title. I should have known better.
You should have known better.
Should have known.
This is not the Mon finger. This is the Jenna finger.
Sassy sass.
Gosh, what can I say? It takes place half in Korea, half in Conroe. Yes.
Parts happen in Texas!
Like 20 minutes up the road now, Conroe, yeah?
Yeah.
You're required as a Texan to buy a copy. Just saying.
As a Houstonian, a Conroe-ian, then
No.
a
Conroe-ite.
A Conroe-lite?
Conroe-ite.
You guys vote. The name of the city is Conroe. If you're from Conroe, what are you called? Go.
So it's got to take place in the future, yeah? Or like...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, far enough in the future
Far
in
enough.
which it's possible that an AI could be created that looks and talks and
Acts.
feels like
Yeah,
they are a
feels
girl.
like... it seems like it's not too far in the future, though, because they have regular cars. The houses are pretty much just, like, fitted with AI, but, like, not much. It doesn't seem like it's much more advanced than like a super Ring doorbell kind of a thing. You know what I mean? But the AI that
Think through what you're saying.
the kids aren't kids. They're like the kids on the cover. I mean, they have no face. Like, they have no covering on the face.
Mhm.
So you can see that they're like, not like androids, kind of like humanoid robot,
Mhm.
but they look, feel, and act like kids. And I don't know what else. I mean, I think that's pretty much all that you really know in the first.
Yeah. What Jeremy
Like-
told me is that they were really intending this book to have people think a little bit more about what it means to have, like, what your identity is based in. Is it what you
Oh, I
look
like that.
like or what you feel like? Or is it something that happens that's outside of you or inside of you? It's just a lot of those kinds of thought processes that are going on in this book. So it's deep, but also just like, it's also cool and it's about AI. It's like
Yeah.
that kind of usually turns into some kind of scary, spooky thing, right? That the AI really turns bad when they realize they don't need us.
Right.
But I don't feel that's where this is
No, I
headed.
don't think so.
All right, so we've got some votes in con artists. Now, the Conroe people are mostly nice country folks, so not that.
Country.
Conquistador, I like that.
Okay, I like that.
Conquistador.
Yeah.
By the way, our store is officially in Conroe
Yeah.
because Oak Ridge
This is-
North does not have a post office.
Yeah.
So our
And
zip
school
code
district.
is Conroe. So I guess it takes place.
Yeah.
This
it's all
book
CISD.
takes place in our city.
Well, I
Technically,
mean,
Yeah.
isn't the Woodlands also now? Yeah,
that's
it's right on the line.
officially
Woodlands
spring.
Spring in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
The Woodlands is officially
It's like
spring.
a
Woodlands Spring.
suburb of
But it's-
Houston.
Yeah, it's a township.
And then Houston is growing so much, it's just going to absorb Conroe.
What you don't know is that the Woodlands is actually just a tax entity. It's not even a township, honestly.
Yeah, but they call it the township.
We call it the bubble. Thank you.
It is the bubble.
Yes, it is
The
the
bubble.
bubble.
You
That's
can't
fancy.
leave the bubble. If you
I
leave the
know.
bubble, you come back to the bubble.
Yeah, it's true.
Worst
We're
one.
just, we're just talking about random stuff now. Black Panther. Full disclosure, I kind of wandered away from Black Panther when it went into space and they made a second Wakanda and it became more space-based. I tend to like my superhero tales on Earth. I don't know why. So I have not in the last year or so been partaking of Black Panther. It's not because I don't like Black Panther or the writer. I like them both. I just found myself thinking to myself, I'm going to care about humans. I'm not really about things that happen in space. So this definitely addresses, there is a character who is has become a combination of Bast, which is their goddess creature or being in which they get their power from, and two other things all smashed together, in which it doesn't feel like it's necessarily all positive when it's addressed in this book. There's a huge amount of battling. If you like a lot of fight scenes and gorgeous art, this one is totally for you. And you get to actually see Bast as just Bast.
Oh.
There's at one point where that happens. You get to see the form of Bast, which is so beautiful. This one is the very end of the Black Panther storylines that are written by Coates, and then is going to be picked up by the new writer who escapes me now. I don't know why I can't remember who the next one is. I'll have to go look that up for you guys. But Black Panther is going to start again, maybe at 1. I don't know that they're going to do number 26. They tend to renumber when they get new creative teams. So
I think I saw that it was going to be number 1.
And so there's some amazing variant covers, by the way. If you are an art person, you like collecting art, you're going to have a lot of good choices tomorrow. And this book, I didn't get to read except for the first chapter of, because of course it's a whole novel, so it's not really something you can tackle in just like a couple hours of review. But this one is called Wake, and it's the hidden history of women-led slave revolts. So it is written by Rebecca Hall, and the art is by Hugo Martinez. And it looks at history of slave revolts and tries to tell the history of it. The first one that I read, the writer is telling to us the extreme frustration that they experienced while trying to find. So the woman who actually was part of this slave revolt was captured, and then in all the legal documents that are about that event, what happens afterwards, all there is in there is it references that person, whatever they said previously in their court case, that was what was going to be documented. But it doesn't say the words. You don't ever get to see they don't have anywhere the things that were said in that first court thing. And it doesn't say anything other than that we accept whatever she said then. So it's lost to history. We have absolutely no what happened. So those kinds of things are important to us, to make sure that we at least keep that knowledge around, that doesn't get lost to history itself. So it is really wonderful to read history in the comic book form. For some reason, if you are a visual learner, it actually sticks in your brain a little bit better. So enjoy this one. There's a great many other historical graphic novels that I can recommend to you. If you want a list of them, I'm glad to give them to you.
All right. From Black Mask, Alice in Leatherland number 2. Alice is a young woman from small town, decides, I'm going to move to San Francisco to try to get my book published that she is still trying to write. But, she moves with her friend Robin, and they get to San Francisco and then part ways because Robin had been planning to move, but Alice had not. And so she finds a room with a bunch of a group of people who are, how do I phrase it and keep it
family friendly?
Yeah. It's they deal with punishment
Hmm?
and pleasure, I
You
guess.
say S&M.
Well,
It's a way
I mean,
shorter way of saying it.
yeah, but like it's not just that part of it. It's the anyway. So she doesn't have a job yet, and so she gets a job in this issue. And what's really cool about this series is that she's, because of her previous writer's block, she's less blocked, and so she's writing her book as if she is a lightning bug, but it goes through her own story. But it's like, it's gonna be a kid's book, so she keeps it like friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
All right. Let's see. What is up here? This one's cool. Reptile is a book that I picked up to read because I was like, I don't know. This will be kind of a thing that I can be, okay, Marvel, quit writing books that are just side books because, man, there's too many of them. But in this case, I loved it. So this is a character who has been around in the Marvel Universe for a little while. It is a young man who found an amulet that kind of fused to his chest and gives him the ability to transform into any dinosaur that he wants, right? Sounds like a cute little book. But if he can actually kind of like turn himself completely into a dinosaur, and then he loses himself in there. He becomes he like the dinosaur takes over and becomes ultra violent. He can't really tell, he can't direct his violence necessarily very well, and he doesn't like to do that anymore. And his history as a character is that his family, right after that happened to him, disappeared. They don't know what happened to his mom and dad, which were paleontologists, and so that's how they found the amulet, was with their digs. And so all his life he hasn't had any idea where his family is. So that gets addressed a little bit in this book. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about that, that's how you find out. And he has always had people after wanting to use his power, like to control him. So that also gets talked about a little bit in this issue. He was part of the Avengers Academy, and kind of like lets the information drop that all the people that were asked to be part of the Avengers Academy were really because they were worried about those individuals. If they were unmonitored, they would be more likely to turn into bad guys. Okay, so he knows that about himself. He's already seen by superheroes as being possible bad guy, and that doesn't make you feel very accepted. So there you go. I have to go again?
Yeah.
All right. And Heroes Reborn number 4, just like the rest of the issues, you can kind of read them by themselves because they all further the story, but you don't have to necessarily know everything that's happened before. All you really need to know is that the Avengers in this universe never existed. So everything that you read are what might have happened if that was so. And you have then different heroes evolving in different ways and with different powers, and the bad guys too. So all of the universe looks pretty different. And in previous issues, they've brought forward characters that have been kind of pushed back in history, right? That we haven't really like paid attention to since maybe the 80s, like Starbrand or Dr. Spectrum. And Dr. Spectrum features very strongly in this one, and Starbrand is in this one also, and also stars Rocket and Groot, but not Groot the way you're used to seeing Groot at all. So it's a fun wild ride. And then there's a second tale that takes place in the back, just like it always is, and the second tale usually is the one that kind of like pushes the story to the next week. Eventually we'll have everyone realize that there's something off and that the Avengers really should be around. So eventually I'm sure that we'll have them back. But meanwhile, this is a great excursus into a what ifville. Yeah.
All right, Mighty Shot number 11. New story arc, new artist, new character. New character. Right on the cover.
That appears to be a human.
Yes. Let me think. So the last story arc, we're back on Earth. Because Bree left the group. And so, of course, you got to have a good balance. So you got to have one more person join. And because they are scientists, and they were like, oh, we should probably focus a little bit more on the science side of things. Because if you've been reading, it's definitely not been science-based.
They got totally lost in that whole idea. I mean, I'm sure that's what they really wanted to do at the beginning, but it looks like they totally forgot about that and got involved with each other's lives.
Right. And it's like,
it got weird, just like they were worried about.
Right. And of course, when you're with coworkers, it makes it hard to separate, feelings.
Yep.
And what's, just what you're doing to get the funding for your science. And so this one kind of takes it back to, I got a lot of the same vibes I got from the beginning, where they were trying to go back to the, closer to the science side of it. There's I think that's really all I can say without spoiling anything. But I'm so glad that it's back. Monday Shot's one of my favorite series.
Oh yeah. I've never like the chances are that I'm gonna get to read that for review is 0.0%. It's just like whenever we had These Savage Shores, like everyone fought to have that one for sure. All right, this is Miles Morales Spider-Man number 26. This is the second part in the Clone Saga. What you need to know. Since Miles Morales number 13, there has been an evil Miles running around.
Right.
Which we still have no idea where he came from, how it was formed. And since then, we've had some other genetic clone looking Miles show up. Now, these look a little bit different. One's a big, beefy looking Miles, and one's got kind of like an Iron Spider look to them. And Miles is just trying to hold everything together. He's still got to go to school. It's messing with his friendship with his best friend. It's like from the movie, if you're used to, it's like his guy in the chair, that's his friend from school. So he's just trying to make the evil Miles is really trying to make regular Miles's life hell. And has even gone as far as to like hack his social media stuff. So it kind of just feels like normal bullying actually. But it's there's a little bit of a twist that you find out in this one about what the evil versions of him are up to. Just don't know if it's 100% everything as a reveal, but at least we kind of know what they're trying to do. So pick it up. I have a feeling at some point there's going to be a huge, big something that happens. And I love Miles as a character, so.
Okay.
All right. And last but not least, up here, I've got Taarna, which is the heavy metal book that was being mentioned earlier. The number one, when it was released a couple years ago, I think, was a complete sellout, and people really wanted to have the ability to read it, but there just wasn't, because heavy metal has always been a very small print run. And so they planned out and sold, I think it was exclusively through them directly, a second print with Peach Momoko covers. There's the one with trade dress, which is the one we have up here, and then there's a virgin out there. So the likelihood that your LCS has it is pretty high if they're paying attention to their emails, because it was offered to everybody, I believe. But it gives you a chance to read the story. Taarna is really kind of like a godlike being who shows up to save this planet from its own sun, which is going, looking like it's going to go supernova. And it's an interesting look at what it means to be a god. And can you save an entire planet, but then still have them be dissatisfied with the level of help that you've given? It looks like probably. And, would you lose your sword while doing it? Probably too. But it's a definitely not for kids book. It's got nudity in it.
Yeah. I
Although
loved it.
it's not what I would call just like obscene nudity.
No.
She just happens to be. She takes a bath.
Yeah.
So.
A space bath. A space bath.
A space bath.
Not a space bath. Oh god.
Space bathing.
Mhm.
All right. So
She's awesome though.
there's even more really great books. This
Yes.
is us picking a smattering of our favorite things, plus all the number ones we could remember to pick up.
Mhm.
There also, I know there was something else I didn't pick up today to read. There is a really awesome scout book that was also released this week, Cherry Blackbird, and some other things, so don't miss that. Do visit your local comic shops. It's very important that they see you. They buy all the books in anticipation of seeing your pretty faces on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or even Saturday. Be timely in it. I know over time people have kind of started to see their local comic shop as someone that will just hold as many books as they've told them they want to pre-purchase for all of time, and that they'll get by there eventually. But the reality is that every penny that you have in your box is pennies that they can't spend to buy other cool stuff to put on their shelves. So just be timely in picking up, or at least calling up and paying for your box every week. It's super helpful for them. It helps with the money flow, and so that they can, if you've ever come into your shop and you're like, why don't you have any cool new stuff? It could be the 10 long boxes of books that are sitting behind the counter unpaid for, and probably is. So be one of the good guys and stay current with your box. This has been a message from just retail stores in general.
My name is Jenna, and I approve this message.
And there's just awesome stuff out there, and they're doing their best for you every day. They're doing their part by assuring you that it's in your box, right? It's awesome. Yeah. All right, everybody. We've only got 6 more minutes. And I don't think
what is the Conroe lights?
Yeah, I don't think we decided on a Conroe name.
I like Conroe lights.
You like Conroeite?
Conroites, yeah.
Conroeites. We might have a Conroeites. Conrobidins. No one gave me any really good ones. Oh, here comes another one. This one again. Conrovian. Oh, now that might be it. Actually, that might
Ooh.
be the thing.
I like that.
Conrovian.
Add the V in there.
Mm-hmm. I like
I feel
Conrovian.
fancy.
Yeah.
Like oh, there's a V in our name.
Kyle, I think you're right. I think you get all the points right.
Sounds
Yeah.
very biblical.
Conrovian.
Like,
What is the one from Conroe called?
A Coronian. No. Conroe.
I
Conrovian.
want to say Corinthians, but I don't.
Corinthian.
I'm just saying that for the sake of saying that.
I like it.
That's not good.
No.
But it
Figure
is.
it
That'd be
out.
if you were from Corinth.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Minute to Skim It. If you need a schedule from us, you can always direct message us on Facebook. Just Jen King, that looks like me. You say, I want to know where I can find you and where. I've got lots of shows on the Experience. We like seeing you guys there. Don't miss any of the cool new shows that we've got coming up, including, you definitely want to be here this weekend. We have the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month 2-day extravaganza led by Amy Chu and Ming Chen. Yes, those are huge names. Those are just the people that are like the head people doing all of the cool interviews. Then all of the names that you're going to see popping up that are going to be interviewed will blow your ever-loving mind. and we're just getting started here on the experience. Immediately after that, the next month, we got even more crazy cool stuff coming up for you guys. So thanks for sticking with us as we ramp up this cool thing.
Please
Confirmed.
No more dolphins.
Ron Lim. Hey, Ron Lim has been confirmed. So there you go. Now you know. You're the first people to know. That's why you watch this crazy show. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time on Minute to Skim It.
Only on The Experience this weekend, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, with hosts Amy Chu and Ming Chen. Tune in Saturday and Sunday for great conversations with great creators and a celebration of the heritage that these creators have brought to comics. Saturday and Sunday, only on The Experience.